So I'm doing the brilliant task of balancing 3 hockey games all in my consciousness at the same time. I'm watching the Red Wings versus the Kraken, I'm watching the Canadiens and the Devils, and I'm watching the Canucks and the Predators, all on different screens. I've got 2 laptops, a TV programming, and it's been hectic. But I was not going to make a video about this initially because I did watch the entire Canadiens and Devils game. I was saying, you know what? There are other games that are going on that I'm paying attention to. I want to watch this Canucks game with my full, undivided POV, but everything went on a break. Period intermissions are coming on here, and right when all the period intermissions started up, the Canadiens and the Devils game finished up. So I wanted to take this time to talk about Tyler Toffoli. Because Canadiens fans, this is what you're getting with this guy. This is what we experienced here on the West Coast in Vancouver whenever y'all played us in that North Division season. Tyler Toffoli is a ghost. He haunts the former teams that he always ends up playing against. It was Vancouver a few years ago where he would get multiple hat tricks per season against that team. And now he comes over to New Jersey. He plays off against the Habs, wherein he had a very good career, very good few seasons with, and he scores a hat trick. And not only does he score the hat trick, but you also have yourselves, where is the point production here? Let's see this. Yeah, Jack Hughes getting 4 assists on the night. Toffoli with 3 goals, Jack Hughes with 4 assists, meaning that this currently unupdated list is now having Jack Hughes as the number 1 overall point scorer in the league. He's got 14 points, and he overtakes Larkin and DeBrincat. They haven't scored yet at the time of recording this audio in the Detroit and Seattle game. Elias Pettersson is playing right now against the Preds. They're not down 1-0, excuse me, they're tied 1-1 after the first period. But Jack Hughes has overtaken the NHL in points by a pretty significant margin. You go over to goals here, and you see Tyler Toffoli scoring his first 3 on the season in this one game here. And honestly, this wasn't really the best game for anybody in Canadiens town looking for things to cheer about with the Canadiens. If you wanted to talk about the goals that they'd scored, okay, we can talk about that. We can talk about Michael Pezzetta bodying a guy in the Canadian zone, joining the rush and setting up Justin Barron for a great shot, and then setting him up again off the rebound. Justin Barron gets his 2nd goal in as many nights, scored his 2nd of the season, assisted by Pezzetta. It's 1-0 Montreal. The Devils then had themselves a disallowed goal, Nico Hischier, a little bit later, but it doesn't matter because Alexander Holtz is able to tie things up towards the end of that first period. It's a play where the puck just kind of gets thrown on goal. Holtz scores at the late stages of a Devils power play. It was Kovacevic off for tripping. He buried the rebound in off of a long drive, assisted by Dougie Hamilton, who took the shot, and Timo Meier, who was also in front. Second period comes along, and this is where things start to go well for Tyler Toffoli, because Toffoli gets a lane right in front. He's got the goalie to beat one-on-one with Cayden Primeau, and he beats Primeau under the glove. It's a pretty knuckle puck kind of shot. Happens in the last minute of the second period, pretty much. And that momentum carried over into the third period as the Devils are able to get a power play goal twice. They get 2 straight off of Nico Hischier and Tyler Toffoli. The Hischier goal was pretty alright, but then Tyler Toffoli, of course, getting himself another one. Jack Hughes leads the NHL with all of the points he gets here in this one, assisting the Hischier, assisting the Hughes. The snapshot by Toffoli, power play goal, pretty nice one. Honestly, at this point in the game, it's like 3-1, 4-1. I'm not really paying too much attention because I've got the Wings and the Canucks game on in my peripheral vision, just trying to scan back and forth between each of the games. Mike Matheson, though, my gosh, he scores maybe the goal of the year for the Habs towards the halfway mark of this third period. It's not enough, of course. They still lost 4-2. Or 5-2, excuse me. Yeah, the NHL.com website doesn't have the empty net goal here. Okay, now it does. Yeah, I had to reload it. But Mike Matheson, in a really ballsy move by Marty St. Louis, is able to capitalize on the New Jersey Devils and their forecheck. The Habs pull the goalie with 10 minutes to go in the third period, down by 3, and it's Mike Matheson who comes right down the gut. He splits the D. He comes in on the goaltender for New Jersey, that in which I do not remember who it was. Vanecek, that's who it was, and he absolutely buries it. What a beautiful goal here by Mike Matheson for his first on the season. You could feel just the energy in the Bell Center exploding at the helm after this Matheson goal was scored. 10 minutes left, you were kind of feeling, hey, they can actually do something here. They've got opportunities to get it done. They started to put the pressure on, and with this much momentum, this much crowd hype, anything is possible. And it was all started by Mike Matheson. By the way, thank you so much, Matheson. I have him on my fantasy team, so I needed the goal here. You know who else do I have on my fantasy team? Tyler freaking Toffoli, who goes out there and gets the empty net goal, assisted by Jack Hughes, giving him the hat trick and giving Hughes his league-leading 14th point on the season. If you want to talk about positives for the Montreal Canadiens, I did watch this entire game, just kind of, as I said, in the background because there were other things I was trying to juggle. I really did like Cayden Primeau's performance. We had talked earlier today about how the idea of him getting traded to LA wouldn't really be all too great because he's unproven, relatively so, especially compared to Cam Talbot and Phoenix Copley. I know y'all had a pretty good discussion in the comment section about that Primeau LA video, but first game of the season for Primeau, 23-24, rotating around with that 3-goalie setup because Jake Allen played pretty well yesterday. Cayden Primeau looked very solid, and he made a really good amount of saves in this one. 879 save percentage doesn't tell the whole story. He was solid. There were some really good chances by the Devils that were stopped up by Primeau. You also had some other pretty interesting performances here. Jakai threw a few big hits. I honestly thought that his decision-making in the offensive zone was not the best. There were a few plays where he just kind of chucked the puck into the corner for nobody. I really do want to see a little bit more out of him. Justin Barron, of course, scoring a goal. Very nice one, seeing him getting involved in the rush. Him and Pezzetta combining for that first tally in Montreal. Pezzetta also, I mean, throwing the body, being physical, that's what you want to see out of this guy over here. Slafkovsky had a few chances where he just absolutely buried the puck way too high. Same thing could be said about Alex Newhook. There were definitely a few guys in this Canadiens lineup that didn't get the best shots off that they probably would have wanted to. But when it comes to positives, I'd say that Matheson goal, just the swagger and the pizzazz that he was able to show off there, mwah, chef's kiss right there for Mike Matheson. I'm totally biased because I have him on my fantasy team. Cayden Primeau looked pretty good, and then of course if you go to the other side, the New Jersey Devils. Obviously it's great to see Alexander Holtz getting on the board here. Nico Hischier finally potting in his first of the season after getting one denied because of the goalie interference in the first period. Good to see him bounce back. Meyer getting points, you need to see that, instill some more confidence in the Devils fan base. Jesper Bratt looked pretty dangerous as always. He was pretty nasty with it. Toffoli, Hughes, what a duo here, man. I just need Toffoli to score more goals. I have a really competitive matchup in my fantasy Yahoo thing going on with the Hockey YouTubers League, and Toffoli getting the hat trick really does help me out. So thank you, Tyler Toffoli, for doing what you had done. Luke Hughes. It was really interesting to see how much the Devils were giving this guy an opportunity to run things, and for the most part, he didn't look too out of place. There's definitely a learning curve here that Hughes has to get adjusted to with the NHL, but for the most part, he's doing all right, and he was able to facilitate play pretty well in this 5-2 win over the Canadiens. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this man right here, haunting the Habs as he has haunted his other former teams in the past. Tyler Toffoli scores a hat trick against Montreal. I'm a happy camper because my fantasy team is popping off. We still got to watch some more of that Red Wings and Kraken game, and then the Canucks and the Predators are coming back on too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.